Hey y'all, it's Heel Heat time.
Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles and this is our NXT show for the week. Let's jump right into it. First match of the night sees the Ascension versus, I don't know, two talents they never gave us a name to. Doesn't really matter because it's an Ascension squash. They run over them like they're nothing, like a, I don't know. They run over him like a steamroller leveling out the street. Afterwards, we get a cool little interview with the Ascension, basically saying whoever is up next, they're going to destroy in a similar fashion. Thought it was good, especially since we've seen the tournament building to face these two guys. For those people that have just started tuning in to NXT since the network went into more countries, you got to see the team that they've been talking about the past few weeks and why it's so important to have a tournament to go against them. Good opener, good squash, leads us right into an awesome segment where the new general manager is announced, and it's William Regal. Quite possibly the best GM in the history of wrestling, or at least in WWE wrestling. Him and Foley, I think, are my two favorites. I think there's a lot of things that Regal's going to bring to the NXT show: credibility, teachability, and if he needs to, like we seen when he feuded with Dean Ambrose or Cassius Ohno, aka Chris Hero, he can take himself and put himself in the ring. It'll lead to a lot of storylines. He's a guy that's always there, unlike JBL, who wasn't on every show. So it's something where if there's a fight in the ring or an altercation in the back, Regal can make a match right away. He gets interrupted by Adrian Neville, Tyson Kidd, Tyler Breeze, and Sami Zayn. Basically, he was going to announce what the main event for TakeOver 2 would be. And then Neville says, well, I'll wrestle all three of these guys. Regal likes the idea. Now we have a main event. Coming up after that, a match that had implications on the NXT Divas Championship match. Sasha Banks versus Bayley. A rematch of their number one contenders match from a few weeks back. Bayley picks up a win. Looks more solid. We're getting to see the evolution of Bayley from being the fun-loving, cool little character that she was, to adding more to that. She's still fun-loving, she's still cool, her character's still interesting, but now they're adding layers where she's getting to become a better wrestler, and she's not necessarily just out there trying to please everybody, as we seen after the match when Charlotte came down and said, I'm not going to hug you, and Bayley says, I don't want to hug you. Where in the past, Bayley would have been upset by the fact that she doesn't want to hug. But we see at the end, Bayley says, let the best woman win, puts out her hand for a handshake, Charlotte walks away. I enjoy the character development, the Bayley character, and the wrestler that she is are very interesting to me. Another interesting wrestler, Bull Dempsey versus Angelo Dawkins. Bull, if you remember when he debuted, I was pretty negative on. Since then, he's continually improved, to the point where now I'm looking forward to his matches. He wins a pretty good contest against Angelo Dawkins, who's a guy I think that they don't quite know what to do with him as of yet. He's being used as kind of an enhancement talent in NXT, but I think he's better than that. I really do. I think he has a lot of potential untapped talent and could become a star in his own right. Good match. Another match in the evolution of Bull Dempsey. We're going to see Bull versus Mojo Rawley at NXT TakeOver 2. The card's starting to fill out. We have 2 weeks to go on it. So it makes sense. In our main event of the night, Tyson Kidd and Tyler Breeze versus Adrian Neville and Sami Zayn. a match made based off of what we seen earlier. Good solid match, good way to give us a highlight reel of all the 4 guys that are going to be in the main event for your next, I guess, special or pay-per-view or whatever you would call it. Ken and Breeze win when there's a little bit of a dissension, I guess you would say, or an accident where Zayn accidentally hits Neville. Neville, Zayn and Breeze go after each other. Kid picks up the pin on Neville. After the match, we see Zayn take out the heels, hold up the NXT title, maybe a foreshadowing of what's coming at the special. Kid and Breeze obviously picked up the win, if I didn't mention that. But good match, a nice way to showcase 4 of the guys that have really been the major players in NXT for the last little bit. Or for most of this year, to be honest. Now, coming off of that, we're going to go into our top 5 prospects. Now, to preface this before we go into this, any wrestlers that wrestle on the main roster or have been to the main roster and came back down don't go into this category. So a guy like Tyson Kidd doesn't go in here. Whether he might be one of the top wrestlers in NXT or not, he no longer fits the criteria for the top prospects. Number 5, the NXT champion, Adrian Neville. Solid mic work in the promo with Regal. In-ring capabilities, he's absolutely one of the best in the ring. His charisma and mic work need help. This was the best he's been on the mic. I think he's going to be limited at what he could potentially become, but he's definitely going to be someone exciting to watch in the ring. Someone along the lines of an Evan Bourne or a Kofi Kingston, where he may not be the world champion, but he may be the best match on the show every night. Our number 4 is the number 1 contender for the women or Divas title, Bayley. Like I said, the character development, her adding a more serious side to it, and keeping it into the vein of her character she's already portraying, just makes it, to me, I think she's a great talent. And I think she's going to be a megastar as soon as they're willing to let her be that. Number 3, another person I think is a potential megastar in the making, Tyler Breeze, who has all the makings of a young Shawn Michaels. He has the cockiness, he has the ego, the athletic ability, the skill, the marketability. He's a guy that the women think is attractive and the men can get behind because of how good he is in the ring. I think he's one of the top talents they've had in NXT since it's even began. Another person that fits perfectly in their character along the lines of Bayley. But just an amazing talent, which speaks the same for our number 2 guy, Sami Zayn. Zayn did well in the promo section, awesome in the match, great end of the show with him holding up the title. What can I say about Sami Zayn? The sky is absolutely the limit for the former El Generico. He can be a WWE Hall of Famer if once they bring him in, once he goes to the main roster. I think it's just a matter of time before we see him being there at the main events of Monday Night Raw, at the main events at the pay-per-view, winning world championships, and cementing his legacy. And our number 1 is a team that'll probably cement their legacy as the best team of this generation, and that's the Ascension. They come through, they destroy, they conquer. They're almost a Brock Lesnar as a tag team, almost the Legion of Doom. Very similar style to the Legion of Doom, where they just go out and dismantle their opponents, hit them with the shock and all, and just put on an amazing show, and the crowd just loves it, eats it up. But basically, that's all I have to say on this. My name is George Coles, and this has been another episode of Heel Heat.